Guys, I want to tell you developer doesn't make his games with the following story. Everything is complicated, but there are some important information we know. Once upon a time, there was a couple, bride named Diana, known as Granny, and groom, known as Grandpa, whose name is unknown. We know Granny's name from one of the voice lines of Grandpa.
Why to me and never see? Oh Diana, can you see?
Grandpa was a war veteran. It was confirmed by developer. They both were human before. They died and came back to life like a zombie form. Now they are immortal. Before dying they had a daughter. She is known as Angeline. The name is unofficial though. Her real name has never been shown. Later she married to a man named Slenderman. They had a daughter named Slendrina. Slendrina's mom, Slenderman, and Slendrina were living together happily until one day. Let's read this diary note and then conclude. July 10th, 1892. Dear Diary, it has been a good day today, but I'm starting to feel dizzy and nauseous now. The whole family went to the park and the weather was wonderful. Mother was in an extra good mood, which doesn't happen that often. When we came home, she cooked us dinner. I thought it tasted a bit weird but didn't dare to say anything. Father looked pale and had to lie down straight after dinner. I can hear him in the other room. The pain, I'm feeling even worse now. My head is spinning. This is Slendrina's diary. Thanks to this note, we get to know Slendrina's mom killed her husband and daughter by poisoning them. Later, she died too. We don't know the reason. She might have suicided herself because of regret. There is a curse in this family. Whenever a family member dies, they come back to life in a different form. Angeline came back to life like a zombie, Slenderman and Slendrina like a ghost. First Slendrina game is just for fun. There are 4 locations and we need to find some items to escape. The second game, Slendrina the Cellar, takes place in a cellar haunted by Slendrina. In this game our goal is to find 8 books and leave. The next one is House of Slendrina. This game gives a lot of information. We see Slendrina's mom and dad for the first time. Her mom is crying while sitting on a bed. The reason might be killing daughter and husband. We get the key pieces and unlock the basement. We find a chest, in which we see a photo of Slendrina and her family when they were humans. Then we look back and the upcoming one is Slendrina Asylum. In this game we have 2 villains, Slendrina and her mom. Her mom chases us while she just teleports. We have a health bar. We encounter Slendrina's newborn baby. We don't know his or her name either. But who is the father? We'll find out soon. We get 8 papers and leave this place behind. The next one is Slendrina to D. We are playing a man named Alexander. The rain began, so Alexander had to find a shelter. He finds an abandoned house. He enters and after solving some puzzles he encounters Slendrina's mom. He kills her not fully because she is immortal and sees a trapped girl named Alicia. He helps her and they both get out. In The Child of Slendrina, we find ourselves in a basement prison. We have 3 villains now. Slendrina, her baby and father. The baby has grown up. Our goal is to find key pieces, combine them, get Slendrina's diary and get out. The next game is Slendrina the School. This is the school which Slendrina used to go when she was a human and young. Our goal is to solve a mystery. We find 8 screws and a teddy bear. After putting the teddy bear in a classroom, a photo appears. There are X marks on the people on the photo, except one person, Slendrina. We don't know what happened to her classmates and teachers. She might have killed them. We take the photo and while going to the exit door, Slendrina pushes us and we fall. For some reason, Slendrina spreads our life. In Slendrina the Cellar 2 our goal is to find 8 books. We have 3 villains now. Slendrina, her mom and baby. We find the books and go to the exit door. While exiting, the door closes and we can't escape. There is nothing important related to the story. The next game is Slendrina the Forest, one of the most story-related game. We came to a forest due to hearing some rumors about it. We see the last member of the family, Slendrina's husband Nosferatu. There are 2 villains, Slendrina and her mom. Our goal is to find 7 keys to open the coffin of Nosferatu. It is shown on the game files he is called Nose. There is a movie called Nosferatu made in 1922. They both are vampire, so his name could be Nosferatu. We can see the family photo of Slendrina, Nosferatu and the baby. We find the keys and open the coffin. We leave the home and then Nosferatu opens his eyes. Slendrina X, the last game of Slendrina series. We are trapped in Nosferatu's castle. We have 4 villains, Slendrina, Nosferatu and his 2 pet spiders. Nosferatu chases us like Slendrina's mom did. We see Slendrina's mom tied with handcuffs. After leaving the room, we hear a scream and Slendrina's mom is not there anymore. We don't know why Nosferatu and Slendrina tied her up. We solve the puzzles and finally enter the room, where Slendrina's book is. We open it and it takes us to another realm. Slendrina's mom hinders us while we try to catch Slendrina. At the end, we imprison Slendrina in the book and leave the castle. Castle falls apart and Slendrina series comes to the end. Then Granny series starts. You may already know Granny series is puzzle horror games. In the first game, while we were lost in the woods, Granny hits us and takes her home. The book that we imprisoned Slendrina is in Granny 1 too. But she has escaped. We see Slendrina's mom tied up. We use the book to release her. She crawls and drops a key. Later we see her as a spider form. That's why I'm saying the events aren't connected well. We can't know what will happen next. Now Slendrina is imprisoned in the teddy beat, which we saw in Slendrina the school. Slendrina is not evil anymore. She just wants to be freed. When we get the teddy, Granny gets angry, so this means she doesn't love neither his daughter nor granddaughter. We put the teddy in a crayful and let Slendrina free. By the way, there is blood almost everywhere. We see a message written by previous victim. So we aren't the first one who got kidnapped by Granny. We solve the puzzles and escape the home through door or sewer door or by a car. Then Granny chapter 2 comes. Granny 1 takes place in Granny's home, Granny 2 in Grandpa's home. We are kidnapped by Granny and brought to her husband's house. In Granny 2 we see Slendrina's baby. Looks like Grandpa looked after it. When we kill it, Slendrina appears and screams. We see Nosferatu as well. He is locked in a box and he is dead. I guess Granny and Grandpa hates every member of their family except Slendrina's child. We can escape through door or by a boat or by a helicopter. In Granny 3, we enter a mansion. The door locks behind us. We almost enter the home. But suddenly Grandpa appears and shoots us. We open our eyes in the basement. There is a skeleton, which means there was someone who was kidnapped by Granny and Grandpa. Slendrina is imprisoned in the teddy bear again. She wants to be freed, so she interrupts us. When we put the teddy bear in the crib, she gives us an item and disappears. In Granny 3, we can escape through the door or by a train. There is not many to talk about. Developer either doesn't want to show the story clearly or doesn't make the games chronologically. His games are excellent. I wish the story was too, like Kaplerian's.